What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. So, y'all, ever since Kendrick Lamar has dropped his second diss track towards Drake, titled Not Like Us, okay, it's a bop. Go listen to it. Support your boy. I just want to say that my timeline has been in shambles. Social media has been on fire. It's all that anybody can talk about. The fact that Cat Williams and his Netflix live special dropped in the midst of Kendrick Lamar just consistently dropping bombs on Drake was also not lost on me, okay? Cat Williams kicked it off, and the fact that his live dropped in the middle of all this craziness is perfect timing. It could only be orchestrated, in my opinion, by Cat Williams. So the one thing I want to talk about today is Jerkins, I'm sorry. Y'all know Darkchild, Rodney Jerkins, the producer. Shout out to him. Every time I hear his name, I think about Destiny's Child, the opening to Say My Name. He's like, Darkchild, nah, nah, say my name, say my name. That's her uncle, right? Rodney is huge in this business. And DJ Vladimir, okay, I don't know his last name, but I know he's Russian. He is always in our business. A lot of people have, tagged him, named him as a culture vulture. He has a huge YouTube channel. He interviews a lot of Black celebrities, particularly men in the entertainment industry. And he came for the wrong one on the right day. So let's get into it. So Morgan Jerkins, she is a professor at Princeton University. She's also a New York Times best-selling author, and she's a two-time National Magazine award-winning journalist and editor. She's also a filmmaker, okay? So sis is booked and busy. But Vlad wrote on his Twitter, Kendrick's quote-unquote Not Like Us song needs a better mix. It takes away from the song. Again, inserting his opinion into, someone else's culture, he has just been getting checked left, right, up and down, sideways. So she does a quote tweet and she says, "You were white. This is a Black folk affair." Okay. Now, anybody else would have been like, you know what? With any kind of critical analysis, like, I would not poke my nose into another culture. Let's say, the Polish festival, or today is Cinco de Mayo, right? So I wouldn't go to my Mexican brothers and sisters, poke my nose into Cinco de Mayo and make comments on Mexican culture. And if someone says, you know what, you're not Mexican, this is a Mexican holiday, right? Even though I know their Independence Day is September 16th. But Cinco de Mayo is celebrated for different reasons. I would say, you know what, I respect that. And I would just continue to scroll and mind my business. Okay, well, DJ Vlad didn't do that. And he didn't even address her correctly. Or, he came at her real sideways and he kept tweeting and snitch tagging Princeton University. So he writes, wait, so a professor at Princeton is telling me that a white person shouldn't be allowed to voice their opinion about hip hop? Is that how you interact with your students? See, he took it there, right? All she said was that you're white, him being critical of Kendrick Lamar. Obviously, he's jealous, in my opinion, of his lyricist ability. But all she said was, you were white, period. This is a Black folk affair, period, right? Two very simple sentences, okay? I mean, 9 words. And he just goes off and he tags Princeton. So he says, a professor and he literally ats Princeton. He's like, is that, how you interact with your students? And she says, what I'm saying is that you put your opinion in a discussion that's not needed. This conversation is and should center Black people, not you. Again, going back to my analogy about today being Cinco de Mayo, there's certain holidays, almost every culture on the globe has, specific holidays and traditions and celebrations and, cultural aspects that belong to them, right? Black Americans, because one, we were enslaved here in America, but two, because our culture is so appropriated, that a lot of people who are not a part of this culture feel like they have entitlements to it, specifically those from Russian ancestry, like our friend Vlad over here. So that's all she said, right? The conversation should not center you. And of course, if you're used to being in the center, like the late great Toni Morrison said, that's the reason why she got so much criticism for not writing her books for the white gaze, that she specifically centered Black characters, Black American characters. That was the reason, because we are not centered enough. And those who are used to being in the center, the dominant culture, if they are not centered, then, it becomes like a big issue, and it shouldn't be. So then he writes, DJ Vlad writes, don't try to change your words now. I'll be reaching out to, and then he asks Princeton again about this on Monday. He was going to, he still might, right? Because it's Sunday. But he says on Twitter, an international social media platform, that he is going to contact Princeton University because Professor Morgan Jenkins told him that this discussion should not center him. So then she replies and she says, semester's over and my contract has been completed. But thanks for trying to bully me out of a job for centering Black people because you got your feelings hurt. Very retaliatory, huh? Nice tactic. Then he replies, it's called a quote unquote permanent record. Every university has one. I went to Berkeley myself. People spew ignorant and bigoted comments at you publicly and then act like they're getting bullied when they get a response. Typical victim mentality. Go ahead and take that. And he adds Princeton again out. Go ahead and take that out, Princeton, out of your profile, sweetie. Oh, condescending. You just admitted it's not even true anymore. And she replies, sweetheart, before I was a professor at Princeton, I graduated from Princeton. So what are you really saying? And then he says, good luck being a professor at Princeton again. I doubt the university supports their faculty telling non-Black students to shut the F up at anything hip hop related because of their skin color. And she says which is not even what I said. I find it funny that you specifically chose to respond to me, belittle my academic background, and threaten my job when others responded to you in a much harsher way. Very interesting and telling, but you got it. And then lastly, he says, it's exactly what you said. You're just backtracking now. I never belittled your academic background. Just the opposite, actually. I'm pointing out that someone claiming to represent a top Ivy League university should be held to a higher standard. You're threatening your own job by publicly spewing bigotry while representing, and he snitch tags Princeton University again in your bio. I responded to you because all the other responses are from trolls and fake accounts. You may want to think about getting a burner account like all the other bigots do. That's how they keep from getting fired. LOL. First of all, there's nothing funny about trying to get anybody fired. Second of all, you're not a student, Vlad. You're way older than she is, and you're way more immature than she is. But lastly, the thing I wanted to point out is how this is the number one trending topic, which is why I'm bringing it to everybody here on my platform. But also, I have seen how we have come together collectively as a community on Black Twitter and have rallied around Professor Morgan Jerkins, okay? Because there's no way that this 50-plus-year-old man is trying to get this woman fired for having an opinion on Twitter that was not racist, that was not biased. She just said that she wanted to center her own culture. That's it. Her uncle is, an icon, a producer in the game. He's been so for a very long time. She's grown up around this. Vlad, unfortunately, has inserted himself, and everybody from, Kev on Stage to all kind of content creators, bloggers, musicians, everybody has been on his head all day. Rightfully so. Like, how dare you snitch tag Princeton University 5 times, especially after she told you that the semester was over, but you're trying to get her fired. And now people are calling him DJ Karen, which is very much earned, because why are you trying to see the manager and trying to get this woman fired? Because she hurt your feelings, because you were criticizing Kendrick Lamar's work. I feel like that's all he does, is he belittles, criticizes Black culture, Black artists, Black professors, anybody who he feels is beneath him. Him talking to her, talking about sweetie. No, she's a professor at an Ivy League university, one of the best in the world, right? He is horrific. I blocked him. I never even watched his material before. I just didn't realize how problematic he was. But like I said, I'm really glad that everybody, at least on my social media feed, right? Most of the people are giving him the business, and rightfully so, because how dare you, right? So that's what I wanted to let you guys know, that, what's going on Twitter, a quick Twitter update. But I hope that you guys are having a good, Sunday, for those who do celebrate Cinco de Mayo, you do so safely and have a great time. But I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Vlad and, coming after Morgan, snitch tagging Princeton University? Is that they don't have enough worried about the students, protesting on their campus, because they are protesting on, at Princeton, among other things. But nobody has time for his foolishness. 50-something plus year old man talking about, I'm gonna call the manager at Princeton on Monday. Have some shame, okay? And get your life together. But anyway, a lot of people are saying that it's a wrap, and they packed it up for Vlad. So we'll see to it in the future. But you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I will talk with you later. Enjoy your Sunday, Aces. Take care. Bye.